What is the greatest gift you can give someone? I want you to really think about that. What is the greatest gift you can give someone? This is something I've been working on for a while now, and I'm getting better and better, but I still haven't mastered it. But it's something that I'm going to be talking a lot more about. Just before I get to the answer, I want to just talk about this. I've got so much content that I've produced over the last 10 years that there's things that come up on my memories that I 100% want to share with you guys, because some of it is so fundamental, it's so important, it's so foundational that I'll keep on sharing it. But I'm going to be sharing more and more about the journey that I'm on at the moment. And, you know, I've helped over the last 16 years over 7,500, more like near 8,000 people overcome all manner of health issues and reach optimal health so they can get them out of pain and start living life on their terms again. You know, people dealing with every health issue you can name, we've helped people with that. And I went through my own health crisis 16 years ago. The medical industry almost destroyed me with painkillers, antibiotics, steroid injections, surgeries, multiple surgeries, bleach baths. It wasn't until I come across my first mentor who opened my eyes to a whole world I didn't know existed that changed my perspective and my life. And then I went around the world and learned. I've been helping people ever since. Now, in my passion for helping people and trying to be everything to everyone and grow a business, I've got 3 archetypes that, you know, I'm very aware of now: warrior, martyr, savior. And in my quest to save everyone, I left myself behind, and that was why 6 months ago in July I went through an episode of being blue lighted hospital under a suspected heart attack, which I'm going to talk more about another time. I'm going to be doing a lot of we'll be covering that in more depth. But it was severe panic attacks, and we have got a family history of heart disease. My grandpa, uncles, nan all died from it. So it's something that is very prevalent in my lineage. And we always say, you know, your genes load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. And luckily my lifestyle been so good, it comes to like diet, meditation, journaling, doing all the things. But what wasn't good was my underlying stress of I've got to achieve, I've got to do this, I've got to help people, etc. And it's meant me not being fully there in relationships with people, my family, my girlfriend, you know. And it's destroyed relationships because I could never fully be present. And that is something that is the greatest gift you can give someone, is your presence, just by you being there, but actually by you being fully there when you are there. Because a lot of time people are with you in body, but in mind and spirit they're not. And as you know, Tony Robbins says, when you're in your head, you're dead. Because we never live in the past, even though, like, and I know that being a business owner, an entrepreneur, always thinking, oh, what could I have done better, looking back, and then you're thinking about the future, and you're never here. And so this is something I'm going to be talking a lot more about, and I'm going to be moving, because I need to talk to people now. I feel the desire to talk to people. I choose to talk to people now that have gone through or going through what I went through. People that are burnt out, chronically fatigued, dealing with anxiety or overwhelm or depression. High achievers, business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals, anyone who's, you know, doing things differently. I know all the aspects of what they're going through, how they feel. And by trying to achieve, you know, filling that void that you're not enough and not having balance in life. And eventually you keep on doing these things and you hit a wall. And I don't want you to have to go through that. I don't want you to have to end up like, you know, as healthy as I was. If I hadn't been as healthy as I was from the things I'd done, I may not be here right now. And it was the fact that, you know, my body was healthy enough that I was able to deal with that. But a lot of people, as I said before, 50% of heart attacks, people walk out the door, they just don't come back. There's no pre-warning. The only warning you get is the actual heart attack. And I don't want people to have to go through that. And I'm seeing so many entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, etc., go through full-on health collapses, whether it be from heart disease or cancer or chronic anxiety, depression. I don't want that to be the case. And so I'm going to be talking a lot more around that, and a lot more about presence. Are you present? And going into balance, because it's very easy for someone like myself, I know most entrepreneurs and business owners are similar, to do too much rather than it is to pull back and do too little, because we've got so much on our head and we want to achieve and we desire. And if you have too much sun, too much fire, that leads to drought, burnout, what farmers call brownout. Don't say that around a farmer. It's not what they want to hear. And so this is something I'm going to be talking a lot more about. I've touched on it and etc. In the past, but I've needed a few months to digest what happened. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going through a real dark night of the soul right now, in terms of leaving behind who I was and not yet becoming the person that I'm fully going to be, but I'm on the journey to be there. So much stuff has come up from, you know, childhood trauma, past relationships, programs, feelings of unworthiness, so much. And I'm going to want to talk about that more. And also not being present, not being fully there, and always thinking, you know, I wake up and I'm behind, I've got to do, and not being able to have a day off, and etc. So this is the journey I want to talk about, and one of the key things is being fully present here, now, with whoever you're with. You know, if you've got a partner and sometimes you're speaking to them and they're not there, I know for a lot of women that are, and even the men that are probably with women that are entrepreneurs, but a lot of women I know that are with men that are business owners or have higher powered jobs or a lot of stress. Men are not the best communicators, and because they don't communicate, women, you know, they feel like they're not. It can happen both ways, but I'm just saying from my experience, I know that when you don't communicate and when you're in your head, they become distant, they withdraw, and then because they're feeling like you're not showing up for them, you're not being that masculine presence, they're not being communicated, they're not feeling their needs and desires are not met, women will withdraw, and then they'll start actually going more into their masculine if they're not super aware of what's going on. And then what can really help is just talking about these things. But by the way, it's very simple. It happens with your children as well. If you've got like a big meeting coming up, or if you're a sportsman, like a game, or if you've got a presentation or something, you know, sometimes you can feel anxious beforehand, nervous, which is normal. You know, you can do things to, you know, there's no problem with feeling those things. For years I ran away from them, but no problem with feeling those things. But if you say to your child, by the way, you know, if I'm a bit distant, if I'm not fully here, it's nothing to do with you, you haven't done anything wrong, it's just I've got this big presentation coming up, and I sometimes beforehand I'm just thinking about things, so it's nothing to do with you. That's like that puts the child at ease. If you don't, the child thinks that maybe they've done something wrong. And it's similar in relationships, male and female, female to male. And so these are things I want to be talking about. So and just diving more and more into like burnout, fatigue, anxiety, overwhelm, not being present, and not having to go through hitting a wall or hitting a big health crisis, because an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. We know this. And so this is the next phase that I'm on, stepping into my divine masculine and really talking about how I'm trying to overcome these programs, these things that are pulling me in different directions, and, you know, being very present with whatever I'm doing, one thing at a time rather than being scattered, and also coming from a place of balance, not having to just do everything in one day and achieve and push and drive. You know, go, you know what, I actually can give myself time to rest and to heal and to recover. I deserve it, that's fine, rather than having to strive the whole time. Anyway, I'm a bit all over the place with this message, but hasten to say I'm going to be talking more about that. I will still be putting up lots of the things that I post, because the foundations of health are super important, but I'm also going to be talking a lot more to the people like myself that have been going through these struggles. Maybe they've gone through them, maybe they're going through them, maybe they're on the road to getting there, because I don't want them to have to go through it. And so I'll be sharing my knowledge around this. Okay, lots of love. If you're not present, get present now. Lots of love. Speak to you soon.